Hello everybody, this is Crystal Guardian here to do another tarot reading for the collective. We're going to call on our guides, guardians, spirit, ancestors. Please give us your divine guidance and wisdom in this reading today. Let us know anything we need to know. Any negative energies being sent our way, please return them back to the sender. We ask this in the name of the Most High. Thank you. Okay, so let's see what we have so far before we finish shuffling the deck. We have thoughts coming out. We have divinity. We have achievement in the reverse. False narrative in the reverse. Abuse in the upright. We have moving on. We have ascending coming out. This is the well, he goes by Kev, but Intuitive Kev, Kipper-ish deck. It's a great deck, but it's a little too big for my hands, so I kind of have to split it up. We have blocked. We have high honor coming out. We have poverty. And then we have rich girl. So, with these cards that are coming out, I feel like you're laying heavy in somebody's thoughts. They're now seeing you as a missed opportunity. I feel like you were divinely guided away from this person with divinity being out here. Whatever the false narrative this person was trying to spread about you, they were not successful. There was no achievement here. I'm hoping you could still hear me because it's pouring outside right now. It's pretty loud. This person was abusive towards you. Now, whether this abuse was actual physical abuse or just, well, I don't want to say or just because it's bad. Like mental and emotional abuse. With this false narrative being here, I feel like whoever this person was, they tried to lead a smear campaign against you. And this is a form of abuse. They were not successful with whatever they did, but they did manage to get themselves blocked out of your energy with this bullshit that they pulled. And like I said, I feel like you were divinely guided to walk away from this person, to move on. You're now ascending after moving on and walking away from this person. And now at this point, they're blocked, and all that's left of you is thoughts of you for this person. You are now moving into a place of high honor while this person is experiencing poverty. And you're over here in this rich girl energy. So I feel like you blocked somebody who was abusive towards you, who liked to smear you, spread false rumors about you. And this person now has been blocked out of your energy. You moved on, you've ascended. You're now in a position of high honor. You're in this rich girl energy, which is like Queen of Pentacles energy. Well, this person is left with nothing but thoughts of you. And I feel like you were divinely guided to do this. So let's get some tarot on this situation. Thoughts. Why are thoughts out here? Why are thoughts out here? Okay. We have 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, 3 of Wands come out in the reverse, 4 of Wands come out in the reverse, and 4 of Swords come out in the reverse. So, whoever this person is, They were in this sneaky Five of Swords energy, trying to win at all costs. It says abusive relationships is also what this card signifies, and then we do have abuse down here. So I feel like this person was a sneak, a backstabber. They were abusive, like I said. Even if they weren't physically abusive, they were still mentally and emotionally abusive towards you. They're still hanging on to your energy here with the Four of Pentacles. This person cannot move forward with the Three of Wands in the reverse. They're experiencing obstacles and delays. With the Four of Wands in reverse, we're getting, let me see. They're having conflicts with other people. They could be fighting with people in their family, people in their house. There's no stable foundation for this person. And with the Four of Swords coming out in the reverse, this person's not willing to go in and self-reflect. They're stressed out. They're stagnant. They can't move forward. We saw that here with the Three of Wands in the reverse as well. They're still in this sneaky energy. They don't have anything stable going on in their life. They're only experiencing delays, stress, burdens. And that's because they're always in this Five of Swords energy, ready to backstab, doing anything to win at all costs, abusing people, not giving a shit how they hurt people. But now that you blocked them, now that you've gone, they're still trying to hold on to your energy here with this Four of Pentacles. With divinity being here, like I said, I feel like you were divinely guided to get away from this person. And divinity out here. Yeah, you were divinely guided to get away from this person. They're going to want to come back in with this Knight of Cups and give you some kind of shitty love offer, trying to reconcile with you. But I feel like you've gained your strength now. I feel like this was divinely guided, that you would gain your strength. And when they do approach you with this cup, this love offer, trying to reconcile with you, I feel like you're too in your own power now to even consider it. Your views on this person have changed. You've got them blocked now. And you're going to leave them, like you're going to reject them when they come in with this love offer. And you're going to leave them in the Five of Pentacles because you don't feel the same way about this person that you did in the past. You've now gained strength from this situation. You are now in a position of high honor while they're failing. They're sitting in lack and poverty while you're in this rich girl energy. Why is achievement out here in the reverse? Achievement is in the reverse now because the Wheel of Fortune has turned in your favor. You're now at the top of the wheel. This person was in devil energy. They're now at the bottom of the wheel. They're facing their karma. They're not having success in things. They didn't have success in this false narrative they tried to paint about you. And with the false narrative being here in the reverse, the truth is now coming out about this person. Their lies, their abuse. So now they're receiving karma while you go on to victory and success with the Six of Wands. So people are beginning to see your victory. This is about public recognition. So now that people are seeing you in this ascended light, in this high honor, they're realizing that this person was nothing but a liar, that this person was an abuser, that everything that came out of their mouth about you, bad-mouthing you, was nothing but a load of bullshit. And people are starting to give them the side eye, see them for who they are, that they're abusive. Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups coming out to the Tower, to the Eight of Swords. So this person cast a lot of illusions your way with these false narratives. They were basically lying on you, trying to smear dirt on your name to anybody who would listen, casting these illusions about you to other people in order to create these tower moments in your life and keep you trapped in your head here as a prisoner with the Eight of Swords. So now I feel like people aren't buying their bullshit anymore. That's why it's in the reverse. People see them for the liar that they are. So now this is starting to bring down the tower on their own heads that they try to put on you. And it's putting them in the Eight of Swords that they try to keep you in. Now why is abuse out here? Abuse is out here because they didn't want you to go in and work on yourself. They wanted to keep you down, trapped in this Eight of Swords, so that you couldn't work on yourself, so that you would have no, with the Temperance in reverse, so that you would have no balance in your life. They wanted you to basically be emotionally unbalanced, insecure, in a constant state of chaos, emotional unrest, upheaval, total unbalanced energy, because they didn't want you to go in and do any work on yourself, because they knew if you were able to find balance and restore peace and harmony in your life, to go in and work on yourself, that you would level up into this Empress energy. And that's why they tried to keep you down, because they felt like if you elevated while you were with them into this Empress, you would leave them. You would see them for who they truly are, and you would walk away and leave them. But I feel like that's exactly what you did. Something happened, I feel, like where finally enough was enough. And you decided that this wasn't worth it. You moved on. And like I said, I feel like this was divine guidance from your higher self, your ancestors, your guardian angels, your spirit guides. Somebody came in and pushed you into some kind of awakening where you realized that as long as you were dealing with this person's abuse, stuck in this karmic cycle with this person, you would never be able to reach your full potential. And I really feel like your ancestors had your back, were nudging you. You followed your intuition and you moved on. And once you moved on and got away from this person, once you blocked this person, that is when you began to ascend. And I feel like now you're in this position of high honor. And that is why you are now in this Queen of Pentacles energy where you're moving towards abundance and prosperity. So let's see, why is nobody on here? Okay, so I feel like at some point with the Two of Pentacles coming out in the reverse, like I said, this person was trying to keep you with the Temperance in the reverse. This person was trying to keep you off kilter because they didn't want you to go in. They saw your potential, but they didn't want you to see your potential. They wanted to keep you unbalanced and off kilter, and that's why the Two of Pentacles is coming out sideways. Because whoever this person was, they were in this Seven of Swords energy, very deceptive, trying to get away with something, always acting like strategically sneaky, betraying you, trying to get away, like I said, trying to get away with something. And as long as they could keep you off balance, they felt like they could pull the wool over your eyes and you weren't going to see them for the lying, sneaky piece of shit that they were. Now with the Hierophant coming out here, I feel like God, or like I said, your ancestors, guardian angels, some higher power stepped in and somehow divinely guided you to walk away from this situation. And you walking away is what helped you to ascend. Now, why is ascension out here? I feel like you finally started following your intuition. You finally started paying attention to signs. You could have received downloads and dreams, or while you were meditating, that you needed to get away from this person. And you finally listened, and that's what made you finally decide to walk away. And when you finally started listening and following your intuition, that's when you began to ascend. And your ascension is putting this person in deep regret with the Five of Cups here. This is somebody, unlike you, who went in and did some soul searching and worked on yourself. Whoever this person is that's in this Five of Cups energy, this past person who you blocked, this is someone who will not go in with the Hermit in reverse. This is somebody who will not go in and do any self-reflection. This is somebody who's, I want to say, coming across as a lost soul. But they don't take any accountability for anything that they do. They just put the blame on other people, and that is part of the reason why they were casting this false narrative about you, because they don't accept any blame, any accountability for what they do in a relationship. They just try to make you out to be the bad guy so that they can pretend to be Miss or Mr. Innocent and play the victim while you get all the blame. But I feel like once you walked away and you started to ascend, people really realized who this person is and the abuse that you actually endured from this person. Now with the Nine of Wands being here in the reverse, I feel like this person is at the brink of exhaustion. They're on edge. They're defensive and paranoid because you've blocked them now. Because they're now, people are starting to see them for who they truly are, because they're in poverty, because you've shut them out in the cold. The only thing they have left is their thoughts of you. So this is leading to them, like I said, to be overwhelmed, to be in regret, but they do not take any accountability for the things they do. They never self-reflect. They never admit to the role they play in situations. It's always, everyone's attacking me. I'm always the victim. Nothing I do is ever at fault. It's always everybody else. Everybody around me is evil. Everybody around me is crazy. I'm just sitting here minding my own business and I just get attacked for no reason. That's this person's typical narrative when it comes to anything. Like, they're always just sitting there minding their own business, perfectly innocent, and people just do things for no reason to just single them out and make them the victim, and they're so put upon. Like, it's giving like covert narc energy. Like, they're always the biggest victim in the room, but they never admit the part that they play in anything. And I feel like you finally had enough and you finally blocked this person. Why is blocked out here? Let's see. Yeah, whoever this person is, they betrayed you with the Ten of Swords here. They really stabbed you in the back. And with the Ten of Swords, I feel like it wasn't just a one-time deal. It was numerous betrayals. Because we did see that Seven of Swords out here. So this person is a sneak. They're a liar. They're a manipulator. They're sneaky. They will betray you as soon as look at you. They're always trying to get away with something. So I feel like this person, this was not a one-time event. This person stabbed you in the back, spread lies about you numerous times, betrayed you over and over again until the point where you finally had enough and blocked them. You put the situation to death. Now they're with the Page of Swords in the reverse, this is about somebody who is very emotionally insecure, immature. They want to come in and offer you this cup again, try to get you back into this cycle, but they can't because they're blocked. But like I said, if they do approach you and they do come in with a love offer, it's going to be very shitty and it's going to be very immature. And like I said, they're still not going to take any accountability for the part they play in any situation. It's always going to be putting the blame on you. So it's at this point, like, you can't even try to be on good terms with this person to, I'd say, like, even associate with them. Because if you try to come back in and befriend this person, be on good terms with this person, they're going to find another opportunity to stick another sword in your back. And if, God forbid, you got into another relationship with this person, they're going to take you walking away as an insult to them, and they're going to punish you for it. So every time you go back to this person, they're going to, their betrayals of you are going to get worse and worse and worse. Because the more things build up with this person, they don't take accountability, they're going to hold a grudge against you. So every time you forgive this person and bring them back into your fold, they're going to do something else to you. Because they won't accept any blame or any responsibility. And they're going to carry all of these grudges. They won't come forward and communicate them with you, but they will keep a mental tab in their mind of everything that they perceive as a slight. And they will find one way or another to get their lip back for that. And especially now, if they're lying and their abuse with these coming out is being exposed to other people, they're really going to hold a grudge against you. So we have high honor coming out here. And under high honor, we have justice here. So I feel like you walking away, you were divinely guided to walk away. You've ascended. You're now in a position of high honor. You being in this rich girl energy is justice for what this person put you through. But I feel like they're also going through justice. This justice is like karma. So you're receiving your good karma. They're receiving the consequences of their actions. So you being held in high honor and spirit while they're in poverty, that is the justice that's coming out here. Okay? Because we have you in high honor, them sitting in poverty, and justice. So I feel like that is the justice that's coming out. Now with the 7 of Wands being here in the reverse, this person feels like they're overwhelmed. They have no defenses anymore. Their confidence has been destroyed. They're exhausted. They want to give up because they're in this poverty energy. Please help. They want you to help them. But like I said, if you try to be on good terms, if you go back and help them, they're just going to find another way to stab you in the back because they won't appreciate any help you give them. They'll resent you for it. We have the Devil coming out. So this person is still in devil energy. They're still destructive. They're still toxic. They have not changed. And that is why they're still going through this poverty. Because they don't want to go in. They don't want to reflect. They don't want to do any healing on themselves. They just want to play the victim and blame everybody else for their problems. Let's see. Why is poverty out here? We have the Magician in the reverse. So this person, whoever they are, they're extremely manipulative. They're narcissistic. They don't plan things out properly. They're unable to manifest. Six of Swords coming out in the reverse. So, you've sailed on to calmer waters because we saw the moving away card here. So you moved on. You've sailed on to calmer waters. But this person, they do not want you to move away from them. They want to stay in your energy. I feel like when you were with this person, they were using your energy to manifest for themselves. Now that you've moved away, they can no longer do that because you blocked them. So at this point, they're unable to manifest anything good for themselves because they're no longer under your spiritual umbrella. They're trying to hang on to you. They do not want you to move on. They're resistant to change. They feel like there's unfinished business between the two of you. They're not ready to let this go. And right now, like I said, with the poverty and then the Ten of Wands, this person is facing a lot of burdens at this moment. And you are over here unbothered in this rich girl energy. So let's see. Why is rich girl out here? Because you got your sword up. That's why. You're no longer allowing this person to disrespect your boundaries. You got them blocked. You're not putting up with their crap anymore. You have new beginnings coming in with the Ace of Wands. And with Judgment in the reverse, this person seeing you in this rich girl energy, you having your sword up to this person, that is leaving them in a state of destruction with the Judgment in the reverse. Because they ignored their call. Like, you received a call from your divine sources, from your spirit team, from your guardian angels, from your ancestors. You listened and you followed what they said. When they told you to move on, you got the hell up and moved on. You ascended. This person, on the other hand, with the Hermit in reverse, is somebody who, like I said, refuses to take accountability, refuses to self-reflect. They ignored this call. When this call was when the divine was calling them to go in and awaken and ascend, they refused to answer that call. They refused to self-reflect. They have no self-awareness. They do not want to go in and do any self-reflection, any spiritual growth, nothing. Even though they're in misery, nothing works out for them, they're in burdens, they still want to be in this devil energy, they still want to play the victim, but they want to do what they want to do. Even though they're in poverty, they refuse to do anything to help themselves. And that's why the Judgment is here in the reverse. And you having your sword up to this person, establishing your boundaries, blocking them, is now opening the way with the Ace of Wands for new opportunities and beginnings for you. I'm just going to get a couple of final cards here. So the World is out in the reverse. This person is really fighting this cycle being closed. They feel like there's unfinished business between the two of you. And they have wishful thinking that at some point the two of you are going to come back together. But I feel like this is over at this point. You've moved on. You've ascended too high here with this ascending, high honor, and rich girl. I don't see you moving backwards in this situation. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. So I feel like they're trying as hard as they can to keep this cycle over, to keep this cycle open. But I said over because in your eyes, it is over. It's done. But they're trying as hard as they can to keep this cycle I keep saying it, open with the world in reverse. Cycle over, cycle over. That's what I keep hearing. Cycle over. So this is over. You've ended this. Because with the Ace of Swords here, you've now gained your mental clarity in this situation. You've had a breakthrough as far as this person's concerned. You're off over here celebrating with Three of Cups. You're not looking back at this person. You're ready to move on and be happy elsewhere. With the Two of Wands, you're making progress. You're looking to the future. This person was in King of Wands energy. There's somebody who's impulsive, ruthless, impossible to satisfy, very manipulative. And they want to come in and offer you this Ace of Cups to reconcile, but you've already hopped on this chariot and got the hell out of there. So I don't see you going back to this situation. They're just salty about it because you're gone. People are now seeing the truth, who they really are, and it's pissing them off. They're getting karma for the way that they treated you, for the abuse that they put you through, for the lies that they've spread about you, for the way they try to keep you trapped in your head and create these towers in your life, casting these illusions. Now they have no success, no achievements. So it was all really just for nothing because they had a big ego and thought that they could keep you stuck, keep on manipulating you. And eventually that shit got old and you walked away. You listened to your ancestors, you listened to your spirit team, and you got the hell on. And now the only thing they have left of you is your thoughts. So that's the reading. If you liked it and it resonated with you, drop a like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next reading. Have a great day. Bye-bye.